Howdy folks, and welcome to a radical track guide at Twin Ring. Now, this was interesting. It felt like you were driving on ice for one. I don't think this track is particularly suited for the radical. It's a lot of stop-start. The radical has a lot of downforce, and there's not a corner on here that really utilizes that downforce. So I suspect a lot of spins, because I did a lot of spins. So just be careful of that coming out of slower corners. People getting a bit heavy-footed, me, and facing the other direction. So just be warned for people about that. But yeah, really weird combo this. I do quite not normally like it, but with the Radical, I think the Radical is one of them cars that's it's fast enough to go quick around the corners, but not fast enough to activate its downforce, if that makes any sense at all. You can't turn it up to 11. And this corner here, which is turn 4, the amount of times I got oversteer coming out this corner, it's like 3rd or 4th gear on acceleration, and the rear end just goes, nope. So be warned about that. So yeah, tricky little rascal, this one. Info for you, 45% track usage is what we always use on these track guides. And you can see there the setup is identical to Twin Ring, so we're not cheating or anything like that. Track temp, 78 Fahrenheit, degrees will be above my head. That seems to be fixed for all the Radical Fix series as I drop my glasses. What else have I got to show you? Nothing on here. This one. Now, the last lap, you can just about see it just there, look. A 44.3. Now, that was actually when I decided to pull my finger out and actually try and do a semi-decent lap. The lap I'm actually going to show you is lap 8, which is a 44.674. The reason I'm showing you that one is because it's slightly slower. It's in the daytime. This race goes to nighttime. So, another nighttime race. So, for one, we're doing it in the daytime because then you can actually see the chase cam that I put up. Also, the mistake here is actually on my fastest lap. It didn't cause an off track, but obviously it did slow me down. So there's 1 or 2 points that it will remind me to mention it when I do the voiceover, where it's easy to lose the time, because that's where I lost the time because I made the mistake. So I make the mistake so you don't have to. That's what I'm thinking this will go like. Otherwise, above my head will be the Discord, where you can see the OLAP, BLAP telemetry and replay file. Now the OLAP and BLAP will probably be from my faster lap, so you can actually see a decent lap with the ghost car, so that'll be pretty decent. The telemetry is from this one, so I didn't record the telemetry when I did my fast lap, so my mistake. I will put the replay on for both. Yeah, I'll do the replay for both. That'll be easier. So you can see the fast lap in the dark compared to the not so fast lap in the daytime. On there as well is the Google Docs that tells you what track guides are coming up for what guides are coming up for what season. Very easy to look at, so you can go in there and check them out. Or I always update it as well, so it's always up to date. And the other screen will be how I get into these sessions. To try and make it as accurate as possible, I use the UI, and that is how I do it. Otherwise, enough of me waffling. Let's crack on with the guide. Right then, Twin Ring is quite a good little circuit this, so yeah, I don't know why it doesn't appear more often. Anywho, 100 meter board, probably halfway between the 150 meter board we are braking, and make a diagonal for like the apex of this corner. Hug it as best you can, knock it down into second gear, and this is where my first mistake. You need a good exit here, and obviously I'm conscious of that, but big snap of oversteer you can see there. So just be mindful of that. Be nice and smooth on throttle. So yeah, be cautious around there. Coming down to the tricky turn 3. Now this really opens up. So just after the 100 meter board, open wide entry and then it narrows down, so bear that in mind. So take it slower than you think, second gear nice and easy, and again be easy on the throttle application, particularly around this turn 4. This was very easy to lose the rear end. As you can see, just a little titch here, just run a little bit wide, little bit of dirt there, and we carry on nonetheless. Coming down to the downhill braking zone of turn 5 now. Again, we need to be mindful, brake nice and early. So at the 100 meter board, straight line the braking zone, second gear again, nicely turned in. Again, it's a wide track on entry, narrows on exit. So going too wide there will be interesting, and that is another mistake there of getting the tyre on the dirt. So just beware of that understeer and just take it a little bit easy. That is absolutely flat out, so don't worry about it. So coming up to turns 7 and 8 now, and just as the curbing starts, you want to brake quite heavily and then let the aero and the turning reduce the car speed into this corner. Trying to stay mid-track, you don't want to go too far right before the apex of this corner, and then nicely, gently ease the throttle up because it is super slippery around here, and I did find out why, which I'll explain after this one. So, white line just before it, we're standing on the brakes again. First or second. First is very slippery on the way out here, so I chose second to get a nice wide angle and stamp on it. This setup has 2 degrees of wing, so that's why it's slippery at the rear end, so bear that in mind. 50-meter board, couple of car lengths before it. We're standing on the brakes again. Again, same one as the last hairpin. Second or first. Second if you want to minimize the wheel spin. I do get a better line through here and a better drive. This is another important corner because it's another long straight. This track is all about tight corners, long straight, tight corners, long straight. So the better exit you get, the better lap time will be. Coming down here, again, we're a downhill braking zone, so 100-meter board, heavy on the brakes. Don't lock up a front because you will end up going straight on. Start turning in again, nice wide entry and a relatively narrow exit, so be mindful of that again. Bring the car over to the right-hand side, right over there, really open up this, and now we're trying to hunt a braking point, which is here. No idea what my marker point is, but generally it's just I start to see the corner. So third gear, bit of a brake again, down to second, and then cut this corner ever so gently, and then build the power up very nicely, because again, we've got a decent long straight of the start-finish, so we need a good exit. And we fly across the line for a 1:44.698. I definitely could have gone faster around there. Definitely could have obviously reduced their mistakes. But as I say, it was a good little marker to me just to let you guys know how tricky this was to get out of the corner. At the end of the day, if I leave a mistake in there and I show you, then that'll be one place that you can modify your driving to make your lap better than mine. As mentioned, this setup that we have for this has a very low wing. Very surprising. The only setup that we could find that has a lower wing was Le Mans. So I'm very confused why iRacing has this setup for twin ring of like I think it's 2.5 degree wing. Most of the circuits are about 26 degrees of wing, so that puts things into a little bit of perspective. So again, just bear that in mind as you're hurtling around this track, that we have virtually no rear end grip on acceleration. Otherwise, stay safe out there, don't go spinning around in donuts, and enjoy the week. Catch you on the next one.